What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the afternoon, and today we're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Banana Republic that I think a lot of you guys are sleeping on when it comes to freshy green fragrances. But before we get into all the details, you know what we do. Watch that intro. All right. So, like I said, you are now tuned into the Scent Bubble. And man, I got to tell you, I think I tried the tobacco and tonka bean fragrance a while back. This was months ago. And a lot of people were saying that's the best fragrance in the line or top three. And then I took a whiff of it. And I got to be honest, man, it smelled very synthetic in a non-pleasing way. It was beast mode. So the fact that I didn't even enjoy the fragrance at all, the fact that it was so beast mode didn't contribute to it. But I kind of put the house down from that point forward. But I came across a crazy steal, as you guys know, on Vintage 78 Green from the house a while back. I believe I got a full bottle of that for I think it was like 75 ml. Got it for like 15, 20 bucks. And I gave it another shot. I'm like, okay, let's see what they do with a green fragrance. And they knocked it out of the park. That tea note, the fig note, and then feeling like you're going through the most green, crisp, jungly forest. And I really appreciated that fragrance, even though it was kind of light. You know what I'm saying? I'm never a big advocate of needing a beast mode fragrance. If I like the fragrance, I'll rock the decant or I'll put the fragrance in my bag, and I have no problems reapplying later in the day because great fragrances are just hard to come by, and the older I get, the more picky I get. But today is no different. I came across a mega sleeper of a green fragrance. Again, this is from the house of Banana Republic, and this is Grassland. Now, I would have got a bigger bottle if they had it, but this fragrance is not in your Ross and TJ Maxx and Marshalls as much. This might be the only second time I've come across this. And this fragrance is, I feel, unique for the line, and it rises above the occasion of the name. When you look at Grassland, you think, okay, earthy green. And you certainly get that. Definitely not grass per se, but you get crisp citrus green. Not necessarily citrus dominant. I would say it's green forward with a citrus tinge to make it, like crispy. It's pungent. It's not super light. It's somewhere in the middle. It's green with substance with a slight tinge of maybe some lemon, something like that. Maybe lemon lime even. But it's just a very bright and uplifting fragrance. I mostly get citrusy green note, but I'm interested to see what's in the background because it has a way of not smelling too synthetic. It kind of smells very natural, but the flavor and sweetness and citrus and green work together in such a pungent way that you question whether or not it has some sort of backbone. Such a fresh, crisp fragrance. I would call this a freshie with charm. You know, normally when we talk about freshies, we talk about, a green fragrance, or some type of earthy fragrance. Green is earthy, but you can go earthy in the realm of like roots and resins and woods and stuff like that. So I mainly mean, anything other than greenery. You can go linen, that crisp, clean. You can go for soapy. And this is certainly a freshie with charm because not only does it go green, but it also kind of has this sparkly note of citrus that's slightly sweet, almost zesty, and it's such a light, airy fragrance, but it packs such a potent punch, not in a beast mode way, but it's just there. When you smell this, you don't think that it's light at all. As far as pressure and power, I rank this probably around a 6 or a 7. Not necessarily longevity, but projection. We're going to go ahead and switch over to a note breakdown real quick, just so we can see what we're dealing with. Maybe put a little bit of description to what we are smelling. And this definitely tells the story. So up top, we have mint. I can definitely say that though it doesn't have like a super cooling sensation, maybe like 5% cooling sensation, but mostly just airy and crisp, I can smell the air running through this fragrance. We've got apple and bergamot up top. So that green note looks like it's mainly coming from citrus, like the combination between citrus and the petitgrain there in the heart. But we've got ozonic, lavender, geranium, and petitgrain in the heart. And then in the base, we've got ambergris, moss, sandalwood, patchouli, and vanilla. I'm going to be honest, if you're looking at this fragrance and you're curious about buying it, you definitely don't get spice, you don't get vanilla. Um, Geranium might be contributing to kind of the tinge of sweetness that's coming off of this because it's not quite crisp apple. It almost is like crisp apple with a slice of red apple on top, so it's kind of tamed a bit. The main notes from this breakdown that I'm getting, if you're interested in purchasing this fragrance for yourself and you really want to know, okay, what's this smell like? I would select as the dominant notes throughout this fragrance. And let me go ahead and put it on skin so we can catch a dry down at the end. I'm getting the mint, the apple, the bergamot pomelo. All of that's translating as like citrus, but it is apple forward. I get a slight touch of the ozonic geranium petitgrain. And then the base, I'm getting mostly the kind of moss sandalwood patchouli as just kind of giving it backbone and substance. The key notes is the mint, the apple and citrus, the geranium, and ozonic. Use cases for this fragrance, man. I think that this is a freshie. So you can rock the, again, I call it a freshie with charm. It goes slightly above and beyond the standard of just smelling fresh. It's got unique charm with the apple, geranium, mint note is just doing quite a bit. And normally those notes would be very light, but here they seem to still pack a very forward punch in terms of the projection. Use cases: out of the shower, on a beach, grabbing a coffee, sitting in an airport, everyday casual use. You could, out of the gym, this would go crazy. This is just a step up from Freshie, so you're not going to smell like anybody else. This has a way of feeling earthy without feeling old, if that makes sense. When I smell this fragrance, it just keeps drawing me in. It has draw. It's not earthy. I'm not smelling soil and pure grass. I'm smelling greenery, like a greenery medley with a touch of mint, apple, and sweetness, with a serious backbone of kind of like a blend of not earthiness in the sense of soil, but just in the sense of plant life. This fragrance is very lively. So yeah, super casual use, but I think you would stand out a step above casual. I don't know if I would rock this on any kind of serious occasion, date nights, going out, serious occasions, family events and stuff like that. This is very much a freshie with charm, so you should treat it as such. I think it would definitely shine in the summer and spring months, but if you wanted to go light occasion, I think it's seasonal. You can go any season, as long as the occasion calls for just a light, charming fragrance, you can rock out. So this is definitely something you could grab a lot if you just want like a nice no-brainer, step out, smell good, have some draw, but not be super beast mode. I imagine a fragrance like this wouldn't project more than about 4 to 5 hours. So you would definitely want to have this on hand. And that's actually why I like this size, because I can just kind of put it in a bag and go. But if I ever saw this in a discounter for like $20 for the full size, it would be a no-brainer grab. I'm a big fan of freshies with charm. I feel like if you just need a naturally fresh fragrance, like that's just very linear, something that's just like the one you're going to grab the most to put on if you're just with yourself and you're not trying to be a showstopper, or you're not going to be out in public, around a lot of people, that's when I'm grabbing like Calvin Klein type fragrances, CK1, CK Everybody, or CK Everyone. Looking at my collection now, the Vintage Green 78. Not Vintage Green 78, Calvin Klein Defy. So anything from that Calvin Klein line, I feel like it's linear, but it's just pure. It's not synthetic. It just smells fresh, clean, or fresh sweet, or fresh floral, or fresh green. And then when I look for freshies with charm, I'm grabbing the Ecus from Lalique. I'm grabbing Vintage Green 78. I'm grabbing Grassland. I'm grabbing Smoke Vetiver, light stuff. Maybe the Elysium, I might grab that. Maybe the Cherati Blue when I want stuff to be a step up charming, where it's out of the shower fresh, casual, but I still want to smell different from everybody else. So this is a powerful fragrance for you guys in your collection. I highly recommend getting this. I think for the green. You know, this is almost like Eau Sauvage from Dior made way more modern and for younger people. You know, Eau Sauvage has this green feel where it smells sophisticated, but it still smells old. It smells rich. It smells OG. It doesn't have like, it's not crisp. Like it's dense organic greenery. Whereas something like this almost has a little bit of synthetic behind it, I feel, but it doesn't smell synthetic. Like it's just bright, crisp, sweet, something that's kind of ageless. I think any age can rock this. You know, we'll call this 18 and up, slightly above casual in terms of the intent, and this fragrance can really rock out. Again, this fragrance sits at around the $20-$25 price point at full bottle. I got this for, I believe, like $9-10 at a discounter for this size, which I believe it might be like 1 or 2 ml. Actually, no, this might be a 5 ml. This might be a 5 ml. I think it's more like 5. But definitely a crowd pleaser, man. A non-offensive fragrance that's unique and stands out, and you should definitely have in your collection if you're trying to get freshies with charm. Again, let me know if you guys have this fragrance. You know, I'm interested in, like, I think there was Metal Rain. There's a geranium fragrance there. Like, what Banana Republic fragrances stand out to you guys? Like, I'm really interested because, you know, as I see these in discounters, I'm going to want to go grab them. And I'm not hip to what smells good. And when you're dealing with kind of discounted, you know, mass appealing fragrances like these, I kind of would rather listen to everybody else's advice on what to get next. So I'm not wasting money in blind buying, because I definitely don't want to blind buy. And judging by the note breakdowns that I see on Fragrantica for most of these fragrances, like out of the whole list, maybe only half of those notes actually come through on the fragrance. But they definitely did their thing with Vintage Green 78 and definitely killed it with Grassland. I highly recommend it. This is a certified freshie with charm banger. And if you have any questions, feel free to like and comment in the comments below with anything you might want to know about this fragrance if you're deciding to pull the trigger on it. But until next time, we'll see you guys again. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me in the scent bubble. Peace.